Hey ma'am, I'm Laegina Scalinga, one of the researchers from the Group 1, and here's our research topic entitled Social Anxiety Affecting the Academic Performance Among Selected Students. Mental health difficulties have become a fairly common occurrence in today's society when people confront countless obstacles in every aspect of life. It has become so prevalent and widespread that individuals should pay close attention to it as it has the potential to negatively impact an individual's self-esteem and way of thinking. Being diagnosed with a mental illness is a serious problem, especially for students who are constantly confronted with this affection. This is something that the majority of students are experiencing discreetly. It often has an effect on their state of mind, mood, and attitude towards the society in which they live. Social anxiety is one of the most prominent mental concerns among students, given that some of students do not participate in group activities in class. It is possible that they already suffer from the mental illness known as social anxiety. A lot of people unfamiliar with social anxiety might think about symptoms relate well with shyness. Well, they are poles apart. Shyness is a trait. Social anxiety is a struggle. Shyness is a part and parcel of a shy person. They accept it and learn to live with it eventually. Some break out of their shells as they grow older. Social anxiety, on the other hand, is different. It is not a character trait of a person. It is picked up by the person along the journey of life. A person just can't decide one morning that he or she wouldn't be anxious anymore. It just doesn't work that way. Social anxiety is a disorder and it takes a lot away from a person. Social anxious students miss out on learning opportunities by avoiding interaction, physically or psychologically. Attention to academic information may be distracted by an excessive focus on their anxieties. Clark and Wells 1995, while the ability to monitor and modify communication with colleagues and tutors may be distorted by fears of negative evaluation, Rapey and Himberg 1997. The purpose of this study is to ascertain the link between social anxiety and academic performance among students, more specifically those studying in humanities and social sciences. Hume Strand at St. Cecilia's College, Cebu Incorporation. Numerous research have examined various aspects of an individual's mental health. They frequently focus on another component of anxiousness. They have not, however, concentrated on a specific name, social anxiety. For instance, how does social anxiety impact a student's well-being? Is there a correlation between pupils' social anxiety and academic performance? These questions should direct us in conducting this research in the most effective manner possible. The issues will be addressed at the conclusion of the study, during which researchers will go through numerous procedures. In order to support the argument, it is necessary to obtain an awareness of how social anxiety occurs and how it can obstruct an individual's ability to live a happy life. It is critical to pay adequate attention to this matter because it has the potential to significantly impact a person's well-being and performance in any area, including their academic performance.
Critical framework and conceptual framework. First is the social cognitive theory, Bandura 1980. It states that the learning occurs within a social context marked by a dynamic and reactive interactions between the individual, the environment, and behavior. It described the influence of individual experiences, other people's actions, and the environmental circumstances on individuals' health behavior by Premack and Woodruff's 1978. Second is the theory of educational productivity. It is a crucial study since it focuses on and explains how an individual's academic performance is tied to and affected by their influencing domains. Next is the theory of mind. It is how you think of yourself, and it is also relevant to the study as it refers to the capacity to understand and others individuals by attributing mental state to them. This study's objective is to determine the correlation between the variables.
Statement of the problem. The aim of this study is to determine the correlation between social anxiety and academic performance of students, as well as the impact it has on the selected humanities and social science students of St. Cecilia's College Incorporated. Specifically, it intends to answer the following questions. Number 1. What are the factors that affect students who have social anxiety in their academic performance? 1. Stress. 2. Low self-esteem. 3. Traumatic experience. Number 2. What factors that contributed the most social anxiety? Number 3. What possible plan or programs can the researchers recommend after the study? Significance of the study. This research is conducted with the intent of obtaining critical information and knowledge about the chosen topic from respondents, previous studies, and relevant sites in order to demonstrate the topic's expected relevance to the following individuals. Students. This study will assist students in gaining a better understanding of how social anxiety affects their academic performance, particularly for those who acquire anxiety. It will teach students that there are numerous strategies for coping with and managing social anxiety. Parents. This study can assist parents in understanding their child's mental health issues and how it is impacting their academic performance, as well as providing solutions on how to interact with their child. Teachers. This research will benefit not only students who suffer from social anxiety, but also teachers in the sense that they will be able to understand their students' social anxiety and how it preventing them from engaging in academic tasks. This can also benefit teachers by ascertaining how to cope with students who are suffering from this condition. Community. This study will assist the wider population because it will help people understand what social anxiety is and how serious it can be in terms of harming academic performance and self-consciousness of a person. Researchers. This study can gain relevance for us researchers in which we gain knowledge on how to cope with social anxiety and to be aware of it as it can harm any aspect of a person being. Future researchers. This study can benefit the future researchers and can add up some idea of their study or a guide in the social anxiety affecting the academic performance. Definition of terms. The following terms below were defined operationally to give a better understanding of the study. Academic performance is the measurement of student achievement across various academic subjects.
Literature and studies. This chapter highlights the review of related literature and studies conducted by the researchers following a comprehensive and in-depth search. The outlines readings and literature from a multitude of sources, including journals, books, articles, theses, dissertations, and websites pertaining to the study. This chapter is significant for understanding and strengthening the present study. Social anxiety disorder commonly appears in the teenage years and usually affect 3 to 5% of youths. Chapter 3. Research Methodology. Research Design. This research study is a mixed qualitative and quantitative study that employs a descriptive approach in its design. This research utilized the descriptive research design in order to ascertain the effect of social anxiety on the academic performance of a selective BUM student of St. Cecilia's College, and to ascertain whether there is a correlation between the two variables. Research environment. This study will be conducted on the grounds of St. Cecilia's College, Cebu, Inc. It is located on Atalio B. Bacalso S. National Highway, Minadilla, Cebu. St. Cecilia's College, Cebu, Incorporated is a DILA self-supervised institution which has been fostering students since 1999. Research response. This study is undertaken with an aim of determining the link between social anxiety and academic performance, whether social anxiety has an effect on academic performance of the students, especially the selected grade 12 UM student of St. Cecilia's College Incorporated. Research instrument. In this study, research provides a researcher-made survey questionnaire that will be used in order to collect data from the respondents. It is rating scale test questionnaires which includes the factors that cause students to have social anxiety that can affect their academic performance.
Chapter 4: Presentation, Interpretation, and Analysis of Data. This chapter presents the data and interpretation of the outcomes from questionnaire surveys. These are provided in the tables in the order in which they pertain to the specific research subject of how social anxiety affects student academic performance. The table 1.1, it illustrates the sum of respondent perceived ideas about experiencing stress, which is one of the variables contributing in social anxiety. According to the result of performed survey questionnaires, it appears that students have encountered stress, which is a factor in social anxiety. It shows how stress may impair an individual life. Statement 1. I experience panic attack in crowded place. Statement 2. I feel stressed whenever I'm surrounded by people. And 4. I got stressed when there's a school activity that requires socializing. Received the highest percentage of response from respondent. 40% or more of students agree that stress is a significant factor in social anxiety and is affecting them. To support, according to Javier 2018, in this study, the results obtained support the existence of positive relationship between trait emotional intelligence and subjective well-being. Likewise, the existence of negative association between emotional intelligence and stress and emotional intelligence and social anxiety is confirmed. Thus, stress can be considered of the factors that contributed considerable to an individual social anxiety. The table 1.2 indicates the whole perceived ideas of respondents about having low self-esteem, which is also a factor in social anxiety. In accordance with the result of the survey questionnaire, it signifies that the most of the respondents have low self-esteem on how they see themselves because of their social anxiety.
Chapter 5. Summary of Findings and Conclusion and Recommendation. This chapter summarizes the researchers' finding, conclusion, recommendation, and the suggestion for furthering the understanding of the subject matter. To summarize, the responses to the research instrument enable the researchers to determine how the key factor of social anxiety. So, in this research, we have the three factors of social anxiety, we choose the low self-esteem, the stress, and the traumatic experience that have influenced how students deal with their lives, particularly their academic performance. The gathered data revealed that many students at St. Cecilia's College, Cebu Incorporated, are suffering from social anxiety, which is impeding the ability to perform well in the school or academics. Students have expressed the social anxiety has a significant impact on their academic performance, as most schools demand socially active students to have a strong academic record and achievements. To conclude, not only does social anxiety affect and impair a person's life, it has a tremendous social and psychological impact on an individual. That is why it is critical to give attention to this issue so that individuals suffering from social anxiety will know how to deal with it and be aware of things they are not aware of, especially the students. A social activity is critical in school. The study findings and interpretation of the data indicates that social anxiety has a significant effect on the academic performance of the grade 12 UM students and St. Cecilia's College, Cebu Incorporated. Social anxiety has an effect on how a student behaves in class and during social interactions. Students who suffer from social anxiety often feel isolated and self-conscious and are unable to participate fully in class activities that require physical participation. This results in the students being unable to perform to their full potential, which negatively impact their academic performance. In our recommendation, we have the 6, which is first, the students should engage in social situations such as school activities and programs to become accustomed to being in such crowded places and to avoid exclusion, which can impact many aspects of their lives, including their academic performance. Second will be the parents. The parents should always be mindful of their children's behavior, particularly when are having difficulties. They should constantly monitor their children's condition in order to prevent them from developing social anxiety and to assist them addressing their educational and social troubles. Third will be the teacher should encourage students to gain confidence and reach out to them with an open hand to help them with their academic difficulties. Patiently educate them on dealing with and overcoming social anxiety, and always try to be mindful on their action in class. Fourth will be the community. The community should work together, develop programs that educate people who are uninformed about what happens whenever someone suffers from social anxiety and those who seek treatment. Fifth will be the researchers must raise awareness among the public who suffer from social anxiety and take action to address social anxiety issues in light of the data findings. Last, and the future researchers. The future researchers continue to discover new facts regarding social anxiety and go deeper into the subject in order to widen its reach and make a sufficient contribution to raise awareness among future generation. In our study, we propose an awareness program. After analyzing the obtained data, that researchers intend to create a self-awareness program to aid students who are suffering from social anxiety. As a result, students will gain a greater knowledge of the impact of social anxiety and how to avoid the worst case scenario of experiencing school anxiety symptoms. So we propose the awareness program entitled Social Anxiety Cause and Effect Awareness Program. In this activity, we have the objective, which is first, organize an open discussion about social anxiety. Second will be the educate the students in order to broaden their understanding of social anxiety. And last will be parents and teachers should advise students on how to deal with the social anxiety disorder. The venue of this program will be the school gym. Materials, projector, video presentation, and copies of handouts to the discussion. Duration, half day, 1 hour in every session. First person involved, research advisors, the teachers, guest speaker, psychologists, and parents.